Good morning, gang. Happy Friday. It's the end of September already, if you can believe it. You can tell by the weather, it's getting colder for a lot of us. So, I wanted to talk about something this morning that is a question I'm getting quite often lately. And it's basically the right tool for the job. Okay. And I want to talk about specifically solar generators because obviously we give away quite a few solar generators on this channel. I mean, tomorrow night we're giving away 5. I know of at least 2 others that I have heading this way sometime in the next couple of weeks. So, but which one is right for you, for your situation? And again, this goes back to what I've said over and over and over. There is no one size fits all to prepping. Just because I have something doesn't mean it's the right solution for your needs, okay? And that's important, okay? Each one of us is different. We have to remember that. The reason I say this is, you have to, the right tool for the job. Let's just look at it this way. If you're a construction professional, if you will, okay, chances are you're not going out and buying a smart car, where you're going to put your toolbox, okay? Just like vice versa. If you deliver pizzas, chances are driving the F-350 is not going to be the best vehicle to do it in, okay? You get killed in gas. Not that I have to tell you that. But there's a whole lot of different solar generators, you know that. And I've shown you from soup to nuts, from smallest to biggest on the market, basically. Well, not the smallest. I mean, I guess you get down to the ones that will charge your cell phone. But small ones to big ones. And which one is right? Because they aren't cheap. And you certainly don't want to buy one that you're counting on, and then when it comes time to use it, not that you shouldn't have practiced in the first place, it doesn't serve your needs. So I kind of wanted to explain a little bit of how to go about selecting a generator. Not brand or anything per se, but size. Because, if you're a Blue Eddy fan or a Jackery fan or an EcoFlow fan or an Aviva fan or pick a Ocatel, that's fine, okay? It's what the capacity is, what it can do. They all have different features to them, whether you can plug in a cell phone to them, how many AC jacks they have, pass-through power, whatever it would be, okay? I'm not getting into that. I'm getting into specifically the size. What's it going to do? So when you're picking out a solar generator, the first thing you need to do is figure out what critical components you want to run in the house. Now, y'all know normally when I do a test, one of the first things I do, or one of the things I always do, is test my refrigerator. Okay, there's a reason for that. My refrigerator is going to be a critical piece of equipment that I'm going to want to keep running. I want to keep my food fresh, okay? I've also got my freezers, okay? And I'll get into that a little bit. But if I can run my refrigerator, I know I can run my freezers, and I'll explain why, okay? But different things require different types of power. You've heard me say many times, I want to run my well pump, okay? I want running water in my house. And, fortunately, I'm not on city water. I've got a well, but a well pump runs on 240 volt, and so that's a different setup than, say, my refrigerator or lights or anything of the sort like that. So that's the first thing you got to determine. Most of the appliances you are going to be running, most of the things are going to be 120 volts. Okay, it's some of the hardwired stuff in your house that's 240. My well pump, your HVAC system, your water heater, that sort of stuff. Those are going to be 240, okay? Everything else, stuff that you plug in manually, you have to plug in, that's in a typical household, that's going to be 120. Yeah, I understand you could have a welder out in the garage or something like that, but I'm talking about, I don't think your welder is is going to be a critical piece of equipment. Just saying, okay? So how do we figure out all this? Well, you need to go through the house and go, all right, I need to run a refrigerator that's in my kitchen. I need to run a deep freezer, let's say that's in my garage, okay? And I want to run lights that are in the house. Let's just say we're going to do something real simple. Well, the first thing you've got to realize is you just came up with 3 different locations. Now, sure, you can run extension cords all over the house and do it that way. Yes. But again, remember, if you're draining all that from one unit, it's going to drain that one unit down faster. Your refrigerator is going to run down faster. Your freezer is going to run down faster. Your lights are going to go out sooner. Okay. So you're better off having multiple units, but they don't all have to be the same size. Okay. So the other part about it is, and people need to remember this because this is one I see forgotten a lot, they take time to charge. And so what you probably want to have, I'm saying probably because everybody's different, and there are some people that have the ability to have pass-through power going on immediately. You know, they could have the solar panel outside the door, the cord running in the door, and getting some of the sunlight to power the fridge. Okay, it's not practical, but it is possible. But so you're going to want to have multiple generators, so while one is running, one can be charging, and vice versa. Okay, give you that. So how do we figure this stuff out? So let's start with the size that you need to get into. And this is easier than you guys think. It's a teeny, tiny, tiny little bit of math, but you can do it. All right. So the first thing you need to do, let's just start with your refrigerator, mine that I always run, okay? Go look on the information panel that's usually inside there and see how much power it takes, all right? And it'll probably tell you in amps how much power it takes, okay? Now, I went and looked at my refrigerator, and my refrigerator runs on 5 amps when the compressor's not on, and 7.2 amps when the compressor is on. Now, remember when I tested this little generator here, the Aviva, the other day, the L780, and it did not work for more than an hour and 50 minutes on my refrigerator. And here's why. Okay. The little Aviva is rated for 500 constant amps, and I think it's 720, if I remember correctly, 720 or 780, somewhere around there, surge amps. Okay, and so you understand, when something turns on, there's going to be a surge of power, and then it'll get down to running normal. A refrigerator has a surge of power when the compressor kicks in. Then when the compressor shuts off and it's just running normal, it'll run it normal. Okay, you know, when you hear your refrigerator buzzing, that's when the compressor's on. When it's quiet, that's when the compressor's not running. Well, the little generator couldn't handle when the compressor was on. To run it normally, it was running in surge mode, which will suck the power out very quickly, and they don't run in surge mode for long. So that's why it didn't work there. So that tells me for that particular appliance, a little generator like the Aviva 780 is not going to be my best option. Now, let's talk about a chest freezer. Okay, I have a couple Arctic King 7 cubic foot chest freezers. I bought at Walmart. They're about $200, right? Okay. 7 cubic foot will almost hold half a cow, so it's a good size freezer. So I went and took a look at that to see what it takes. It is 1.68 amps. So if I multiply that out by 120, that means it takes 202 watts running. That little generator will handle a freezer. It could handle both of them. So, you know, no problem there. So I could have a little generator like the Aviva for my freezers, But then I need a bigger one, like a 1300 for my refrigerator. And then to run my well pump, now because that's 240 volt, I need to have a two Delta Pros to do that, because that's the only way I can get to 240. So, you take a look at different things. So what you're going to use, a light bulb, for example. Okay, you got a lamp. You're going to want to turn a lamp on. This one's real simple. Look at the light bulb. You've got a 60-watt bulb in there. Guess how many watts it takes? 60. That one's pretty simple, okay? So a little generator is going to power your lights. So now you can start planning accordingly if you look at what you want to power and what is the appropriate size generator for it. I mean, it makes no sense to go spend $3,500 on a Delta Pro if your need is to power a couple of lamps in a living room, okay? You're wasting a ton of money. But on the other side, you don't want to have that false sense of security. Say, I buy this little generator here and it's going to run my refrigerator. No, it's not. And you don't want to find that out when it's too late. So you look at other stuff, say a box fan or something. Your typical box fan uses 75 watts. Okay, so what am I saying? Now I understand we're going into October, we're going into winter, but using it as an example. You look at a box fan. It's summertime. I want to be sitting in my living room or rec room or family room or whatever you call it. And I want to have a light and a fan. Okay, the little one here will easily run a 60-watt light bulb and a 75-watt fan. How long depends on how much power you're pulling from it. Okay, so that's all going to be different. But will they run it? Yes. Okay, so you're there. So before you go out and start spending money on generators, make sure you're buying the right one. Because like I said, if all you want to do is run a light and a fan, don't go out and spend $1,000 on a 1300. Don't go out and spend $3,000 on a Delta Pro when you need to spend $375 on a little one. Okay, right there. So then the second question comes in regards to charging them and solar panels. Now, again, this is a matter of preference. You guys know I've recommended many times the 12C-VAN 120-watt portable panels, okay? I love those things. They are great. They are high quality. They are relatively inexpensive, and they're portable. Again, my theory on those is this is my opinion, okay? If I have to bug out, the bug out generator I'm going to take with me is my 1300. I can be able to worry about running a water pump, a well pump, in a bug out situation, okay? But I may need to run other littler things that I can run on a 1300, okay? So I wouldn't be taking my Delta Pro. I want something that is portable. Those portable panels pair well with my 1300. They are both portable and I can move them. For my Delta Pro, my plan, I haven't even got this far yet because I'm still finishing. We're getting close in finishing the garage, by the way. Painters come next week. Is that I will have hard panels mounted on the garage. Okay, and then I can, because that's got a south-facing roof, and that way I can go out, charge them out there, bring them into my utility room, and hook them up to my panels. Okay, that's the best solution for me. Now, which panels? Because there's all different ones. One of the things I like about the 12C-VAN panels is they come with all the connectors, because there's different types of connectors for solar panels. You got MC3, MC4, Helios H4, Solar Lock, Radox. I mean, those are just the common ones, right? So you need to know what type of connectors your generator has. And the wire will come with it that you plug in, so you can connect the two. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't do you any good if you buy a panel that's got Helix cables and your generator takes MC4. They won't work. Okay. The thing I like about the 12C-VAN is the 12C-VAN comes with all the adapters, so you can use those panels with any generator, okay, without having to buy something extra. But again, now you're looking at input on these. And again, we'll go back. The little generator here, the Aviva 780 I talked about that we're giving away tomorrow, okay, that one takes 180 watts of input. That's it. If you've got a 900 watt solar array, that's way too much for charging that, okay? But if you've got one solar panel, it's 120 watts, and you're trying to charge a Delta Pro, if I start today, if I'm lucky, I might have electricity by Tuesday or Wednesday, okay? Because it's going to take forever. You've got to go through, just like I said at the beginning, and get the right tool for the right job. Figure out what you're going to need. The simple math of multiplying watts, multiplying 120 for everything in the house times however many amps that the piece of equipment you are trying to run is, will tell you how many watts you need. And then you can figure out from there. It's not overly difficult, but as many of you guys have asked me, it's not easy information to find. So maybe a lot of people just think, hey, this is common sense and everybody knows this. Not true. Last thing real quick, because this question does come up. If you overload a generator, will it start on fire? I suppose that's possible if there's something wrong with the generator, but every one of them's got a cutoff switch in it. So if you try to overload it, it's just going to trip and shut everything off. You've seen me do that on videos when I've done my tests. I'll plug something in, it's too much power, and it just goes stop and shuts power off to everything. So there are safeties built into it, okay? But again, I'm going to tell you this, just like I'm not an electrician. You guys know that, right? But just like anything else, things break, things can go wrong. Don't just, I'll just leave it be and whatever. You never want to take that risk. If you're running something, you need to make sure it's serviced correctly, it's vented, okay, because batteries give off a lot of heat. You don't want to put your battery in a box or something like that. Not a good idea. You need to have circulation so those batteries can cool off. But all in all, that's how you pick your generators. Buy the right one for your need. Don't just buy the one because I tell you to, or another channel tells you to, or some sales guy says, this is the one we have on sale. Get the right one. Spend your money wisely, just like anywhere else. We'll see y'all later. Pinball out.